From going to the grocery store to getting a rotisserie chicken to the rotisserie chicken are babies. Like, they literally harvest baby. They get women pregnant to have the baby, to eat the baby, because there's no food. Like, think about that. Oh. Is there a better sound? Welcome to another episode of Good Beer and Better Books. Today, we are drinking this lovely porter from Wild North in Creston, British Columbia. So this is going to be part 2 of a 2-part video series on Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I finished this book a couple weeks ago, and just due to life circumstances I haven't gotten around to making the video yet, but here we are. So, on with the show. You know, for a porter, it doesn't have that it's not really bitter, but it has that chocolatey, earthy kind of flavor to it. I love when people use earthy as a describing word, a descriptionary word for a beer or a coffee or wine. It's like, you might as well just say it tastes like dirt, because that's what you're saying. But this is very good. The entire time that I'm reading this book, every time I turn the page, I'm expecting some god-awful thing to happen to one of the two main characters. Every page, I mean, from the first page, every time you turn the page, you're expecting death or dismemberment or some horrible thing to happen. And I don't think I've ever just been in the grip of a book in that way that I can really think of ever. There are a couple scenes throughout the story where some pretty gnarly shit does happen. I'm not going to give anything away, but there's a certain scene in an abandoned house where they open a trap door in the pantry, I think, and they come across something. And then there's another scene earlier in the book where they encounter a group of gentlemen who are driving a diesel truck, and they come face to face with one of the gentlemen, and that's kind of off-putting a little bit. But I think the fact that death and dismemberment and that horrific end doesn't happen is what makes this book so... McCarthy thought that death would be the easy way out of this scenario that they're in. I think McCarthy's point was that death would be easy, and that living in this post-apocalyptic, frozen wasteland, that is the horrifying thing that you have to live through, and just dying. The book would be this long if they just died and that was it. If you put yourself in the shoes of the man, you have this little child along with you, and that just amplifies the horrific aspect of really what's going on, because not only do you have to navigate your way through, like I said, a frozen hellhole of a world, but you have to have your son with you, and you have to protect him and keep him alive and keep him, half sane. They have a collection of, so far the ones that I've tried from them have been just excellent. This one, by the way, is called the Darkwoods Porter. I think I said it was a porter. But yeah, fantastic beer. And a really nice little brewery. This book really just, you just sort of zoom in on the life of the man and the boy and all the extraneous, how did we get into this situation? What happened on a global scale that led to this whatever this is that you want to call it, this, this wasteland like terrain where, they're the only other people really that are around are these roving, gangs of, for lack of a better word, raiders. Sorry, Fallout has gotten the best of me, I think, but I mean, they eat babies, for fuck's sakes, in this book. That's how depraved, well, not even depraved, it's just how far they have come from, from going to the grocery store to getting a rotisserie chicken to, the rotisserie chicken are babies. Like, they literally harvest baby, they get women pregnant to have the baby, to eat the baby, because there's no food. Like, think about that. McCarthy doesn't try to explain to you how they got there, why they're in this situation, what happened. It just, that is like outside noise that really, in the context of the story, doesn't really matter. What matters is the man and the boy, their relationship, which is rocky at best, it seems. There's certainly times where he could do better, emotionally, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He's not that. He's a little bit hollow, I think, as a person emotionally, and that comes across in his relationship with the boy. Even though towards the end, where they part ways, kind of, the boy is very reluctant. Obviously, he does have a very strong connection to his father, as he would anyways, but very reluctant to leave his side at the end. Not trying to encompass the entire, like, global socioeconomic, everything that happened to lead, all of mankind down this road. The road. I like the fact that McCarthy just left that all out. We're not going to make this a 4,000-page novel about the downfall of mankind. We only get a very small glimpse into their lives, and it's a nightmarish hellscape. Look at that color. Isn't that nice? And it smells quite a bit like it tastes, which is a good sign.
In the morning, they came up out of the ravine and took to the road again. He carved the boy a flute from a piece of roadside cane, and he took it from his coat and gave it to him. The boy took it wordlessly. After a while he fell back, and after a while the man could hear him playing. A formless music for the age to come, or, perhaps, the last music on earth called up from out of the ashes of his ruin. The man turned and looked back at him. He was lost in concentration. The man thought he seemed some sad and solitary changeling child announcing the arrival of a traveling spectacle in shire and village, who does not know that behind him the players have all been carried off by wolves.
I feel like that passage really sort of just encompasses the entire aspect and feeling of the story that McCarthy is trying to weave into your mind, and he does a masterful job. This is one of the best books that I've read in a long time. Thank you guys for watching my video series on Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I have a couple books that I'm reading right now. Well, I'm trying to only read one book at a time, which is difficult. But I do have a couple books that I'm thinking about for the next review. I'm not going to do a two-part review for unless they're longer books, but for the most part I'm going to try to just keep it to one video per book moving forward. But yeah, any feedback would be great. Any suggestions? You guys want me to read some books and talk about them? I'm more than happy to take any suggestions. You guys have any beer suggestions? I'm more than happy to I can always go to my local liquor store and they will order in whatever I want. So yeah, really looking forward to another video, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers.